When I was very small, I wanted to be a policeman, and then later I wanted to be a lawyer. So radically interesting choices, I know.
So unusual.
Yes, exactly. When I first came to the University of Toronto, the Munk Centre was just getting off the ground, so I didn't know it existed. It's in fact been the most appealing thing about being at the University of Toronto. And there's really two aspects for that. One is the Munk School convenes scholars, people from the NGO sector, people from the UN sector, interested members of the public, in a way that no other unit at the University of Toronto does. That's point one. Point two, the Munk School is able, through its facilities, through its staff, again through a like-minded intellectual community, to provide support for one's research in the way that, again, no other unit can. So those are the sort of two greatest points of appeal.
What is it that you love working on? What makes you most passionate about being here?
Well, for me, it's immigration, on which I've been working for 20 years. But more recently, asylum seekers and refugees, of which there are 65 million in the world today, and it's one of the world's most pressing, if not the most pressing, global problems.
Was there ever a moment in your early education where you thought to yourself, you know what, I'd like to be a professor?
I was inspired by two people in my academic career. The first was a guy named Barry McCullough, a professor at a community college where I started my career.
I know Barry.
Yeah, my first political science class in 1987, and by the end of that class, I wanted to be a political science professor.
Wow.
And the second was my supervisor at Oxford, Desmond King. So those were the two greatest inspirations, and both of them set me, I think, on this path.
Is there anything in particular that you would like to accomplish during your time as director at the Munk School?
Migration, citizenship, refugees, this is something, an area in which the Munk School, because we're at the University of Toronto, because we're in Toronto, one of the world's great global cities of migration, that should really be center stage. So if I could do anything to contribute to that, that would be immensely gratifying for me.
Since I arrived at the school, Randall, I've really been struck by the passionate commitment of a lot of our students. What do Munk students seem like to you?
Without a question, the greatest thing about the Munk School is our students. And that's partly the caliber of those students. We bring in extremely good ones. But also, they have an incredibly diverse set of interests. Mm-hmm. So they have what you'd call traditional academic interests. On the other hand, they have some profound social justice commitments. Many are interested in the NGO sector. And yet they also have a capacity to move seamlessly into the private sector. And in 20, 25 years of teaching, I've never seen students who combine those three very different skills so flawlessly. And that's the reasons why I'm looking forward to working with them.
Over to you.
Oh, okay, we're rolling. Okay.